not about spaceships.
Hey, YouTube.com, not Twitch, because you delayed our show because you are broken right now for us. I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net, and over here to my side is Mr. Rob, the Sketchcraft, and down below is Sweet James.
What's
Sorry. Have you ever seen those ads? Do you guys have Sweet James ads out there, or is that just us?
That must be just you. That's a new one to me.
It's like a lawyer, and he's like all like, he looks like he's ready to like sell you ecstasy and represent you in some kind of like legal case.
I wish
you think
cool, that guy.
Yes.
Do you think in the way that Beavis and Butthead was considered a bad influence on our generation, that Better Call Saul will be seen as a bad influence on every shoddy lawyer moving forward?
Most likely.
Yeah, like that's who I want to be like. And Odenkirk's like, fucking losers, man.
But when Sweet James sues you, you said it, not me.
It's gonna set the courtroom on fire, huh? No, don't say that. My God.
So I had everything ready to go, and then Twitch wouldn't load for us for some reason. I don't know why. So
Twitch was being a little.
It was being a little Twitch, and so I am going to share my screen with you because I'm a giver, and I'm not going to show the audio though, because who knows what's going to come out of that shit. I don't want you guys to see what's in my browser history. It's crazy. Okay. So the big news that we didn't intend on talking about, but we should have probably seen coming, considering the rumors of the week, is that Patty Jenkins' Star Wars movie Rogue Squadron delayed. And it says exclusive. I don't know if that's really that fair to call it an exclusive, since it was kind of all over the internet before this. But I guess when you're in the trades, you get to call, when you're named after the car from Knight Rider, you get to make your own rules. All right. So the first Star Wars feature since 2019's Rise of Skywalker has to have gone into production, was to have gone in production next year. Rogue Squadron, the Star Wars feature project due to be directed by Wonder Woman filmmaker Patty Jenkins, has been caught up in the tractor beam and will take a little longer to make it to the screen. Star Wars is not back, ladies and gentlemen.
Punch it.
Jenkins and writer Matthew Robinson and Lucasfilm have been developing Squadron for over a year, and with the goal of starting production in 2022. It was to have started pre-production by the end of this year. However, in what sources say are scheduling issues on Jenkins' side, the producers and filmmakers team came to the realization that Jenkins' timetable and other commitments wouldn't mesh with the window needed to make the movie in 2022.
What did I say?
It's what Rob said.
What did I say coming out of DC fandom? I'm like, the math ain't adding up. There's no way they're talking about Wonder Woman 3 now, and that shit don't come out till 2025.
So a broken slow adult is right twice a day is the saying. No, I'm kidding.
bro, I was both broken and slow all weekend. So
yeah, me too.
And I can assure you, my wife will tell you I'm never right. So doesn't matter. Yeah, dude, I'm willing to bet Warner Brothers threw down the cashola, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this sounds like the Game of Thrones guys. got better money.
Yeah, I think the Warner Brothers is hurting for content. They believe, this is just fan math, and I generally, having been on the other side, like working on secret stuff and watching fans do fan math, right?
Yeah,
like I've laughed at it before, but in this case, there is a certain, every now and then someone gets something right, and I think, if I had to guess, they think that movie theaters are going to be in a much stronger way, and Warner Bros. Is willing to pay more for immediate content than Lucasfilm. Lucasfilm's like, hey, we could just keep making TV shows. We can wait, we can do whatever. So I'd have to say that they're not going to counteroffer,
I mean, wouldn't it also, to some degree, and this is obviously conjecture on my part, but wouldn't it make sense that when she made the deal with Lucasfilm, they already knew about her Wonder Woman commitments, and that probably already on the table that she make another one if they should desire to make one, and that was always probably going to be a problem or a potential problem and it was maybe just hopeful that it wouldn't happen when it did, and it went down in a way that doesn't work for Lucasfilm now.
But as you coyly suggest during the making of Rise of Skywalker, there are people behind the scenes who like to be the hero of the day in production and set up deals and handshakes and get just agreements that
Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
And I mean, it could be a case, that someone made a deal and the deal changed, or I'm gonna be honest, man, like, if there is a lack of confidence, I don't think it's a lack of confidence on Lucasfilm's part. But if there is, it could be, hey, maybe the first Star Wars films we go back to the movie theaters with isn't got nothing to do with the Force, and there's a bunch of X-Wings and stuff, like that. I mean, if I were a shrewd business person, I'd be like, yeah, let's not do that as the first Star Wars movie back in theaters. That it's a bunch of X-Wings and Top Gun and shit. Like, Sorry, James, go ahead.
Yeah, I think you nailed it with the Disney Plus stuff. I mean, they don't feel any rush to get back into theaters with Star Wars content. So they're willing to wait. And, there's no reason why they would have to wait for Patty Jenkins, because they didn't have to wait for the Game of Thrones guys. They said, hey, we got another commitment. They said, all right, bye. Next. So if they didn't feel strongly about her directing it, they would have moved on with the project, but they would have just got someone else to helm it. So they obviously... they're committed to her and her doing this project.
And the other, I mean, the big subtext of this too that I kind of meant to is big screen leaks. Last Thursday, Friday, I want to say, they tweeted out, oh, there's another Star Wars movie in production. There's another Star Wars movie that's going to production next year. And
there was another, and we were like, wait a minute,
no, and that lined up with what I had heard about Manhattan Beach. Was that there was going to be all like 10 things going there, and they didn't all sound like they were all going to be television shows. And for all we know, that one is going to Pinewood, and that's irrelevant. But I'm just throwing it out there that stuff does coincide with one another. But but another film is coming to replace it. Has been the Big Screen Leaks, and Big Screen Leaks had the Boba trailer, right, which is worth noting. So we're taking that into consideration. They had the date of the Boba trailer, right? So, so then the story ends with, or goes on to say, thus Squadron has been taken off the production schedule and is being postponed. The hope is that once Jenkins fulfills her previous commitments, she will be able to return to the project.
They just threw money at her, man. Like, Warner Brothers is desperate. I don't think I smell fresh blood, and that studio has been in a bad way before the pandemic. Like, look at how badly they botched up their whole from post Dark Knight Rises, right?
Right.
Just from Man of Steel and forward, look at how bad they fucked everything up, Not just with their comic book stuff, but with a ton of other I mean, they had that Tarzan movie that fucking went nowhere, like a buddy of mine was showing me that.
What are you talking about? That Tarzan movie connected and totally changed the way that we look at Tarzan today.
My buddy was trying to throw Mobius at me. It looks great. I'm like, it looks like the Tarzan movie. He's like, what? I'm like, oh look, Tarzan had Margot Robbie, had Sam Jackson, hellish talent. It just looks like a white dude swinging around in the jungle, like whatever, man. It's got punch bowl mouth, no big difference. I actually like the Fantastic Beasts films. Surprisingly, most people don't, but. That has not been the big winner they want,
Pacific myself Rim, a bit of a Fantastic Beast.
Yeah. Their big winners have been small, like horror films, and the last Nolan film didn't do well for them. Now, studios they need wins. Yeah. They need wins at the box office because HBO Max ain't paying Warner Brothers bills,
Yeah.
So
what you're suggesting is Wonder Woman 1985 was the solution.
No, don't put solution, right? Well, you laugh, and then they make Wonder Woman 91, and Kurt Cobain's running around with fucking. All right,
but it would be all wrong though. He would, he would already have been killed or something. Would just be wrong.
Hey, they brought Jim Morrison back for Wayne's World 2. I mean, anything's possible. Right?
That's true. So Squadron would have been the first feature since the end of Skywalker trilogy, which wrapped in 2019 Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, blah, 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 blah. It's unclear what Jenkins' commitments are, but she is in development on Wonder Woman 3 for Warner Brothers and a Cleopatra feature for Paramount, because we just need that. I bet you. Do you think she'll be like
No,
like
no. It's Cleopatra featuring Pat from SNL. It's kind of an inappropriate film to make now, but yeah. But they're doing it. So
Pat is sent back in time to rule. Sources say Wonder Woman 3 was initially to have followed Squadron, but that could shift to the 4 now that the latter is off the table.
Money.
Squadron's and Jenkins' involvement were first revealed during Disney Investor Day in December 2020 in a video accompanying the news. She said she was using her fighter pilot father as her inspiration for the project and wanted to make the greatest fighter pilot movie ever.
He knew when to hit the ejection button too. You know? Look, I was looking for a movie before all you fucking haters out there. Rob's just hating on Patty Jenkins making a movie. No, I'm not. You know, even though I didn't like Wonder Woman 84 at all, I was looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, I was looking forward to it too. It's unclear if Lucasfilm will have another Star Wars movie to be before Squadron. It is in development on several, among them one from Marvel Studio chief Kevin Feige and one from Taika Waititi. Lucasfilm is busy with Star Wars in the series sphere and has Book of Boba Fett debuting later this month, followed by Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor, and Ahsoka, not to mention a season 3 of The Mandalorian. It is also in production on Indiana Jones 5 and a series based on the 1988 movie Willow.
And let's hope they've learned their lesson about rushing stuff into production, because I think that was the sequel trilogy.
Hold on, let me take a shot every time someone complains about that on the
show. or every time that if they may have learned a lesson.
Well, look, when Marvel did the shuffle, we were going over the dates. Is that where
I do this?
Yeah, the Marvel did the truffle shuffle. That's Feige out there. Poor guy, COVID weight. So he. It went right up.
COVID weight. This is hot tits.
Go
ahead.
Hey man, when I was a kid, we all had to take our shirt off for like super soaker fights, and the poor overweight kid had boobs, and and he felt so bad. I was like, dude, don't. Like, that was the first time I had to, like, it's cool, man. Like, don't stress. He's like, a kid. I'm like, look, no one. Look, what we'll do is we peed in the super soakers and hit the guys laughing, and it got even worse. But yeah.
That's
anyway.
True. I did that too.
That happened. But I don't know why I shared that. No, look.
I wasn't taking the shirt off. I peed in the super soaker and just ruined the whole thing.
Don't make fun of my friend's bitch tits. So, what I was trying to say was that shuffle went right up to the 2023 slot, the Star Wars 2023 slot. And so I was like, is that shuffle covering for the 2023 Star Wars slot? Are they going to replace it, or did they lose something and move something around? And I got to be honest, maybe they weren't willing to make that maybe they haven't, and at Disney Plus Day they'll announce a new movie for that slot. But because they have these Avatar movies coming out 22 and 24, they can't maneuver that Christmas slot, Yeah. And I don't think Chapek wants to be like, I'll do what Iger did and just put the shit in May again. That went well last time.
Well, they actually asked Chapek for a comment, and he just said, I'm raising the price on turkey legs. That was his comment.
He's like, yeah, it's not even inflation. It's just because I'm a fucking asshole. So, you know why the turkey went up? Because I bought all the legs. I throw the rest away. I don't even fucking use them.
If you're pissed off about the price of turkey leg, it's that bitch Patty Jenkins.
The rest goes into the Dole Whip, fuckers. You think that Dole Whip's smooth from ice? Turns out we name all the turkeys Dole. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
I blame the shot for all this humor. It's not me.
I know. I think. I mean, I really do want. I thought about this when Big Screen Leaks put out their tweet, and I was like, if it does end up going this way, I really do want the Rogue Squadron movie, but I don't need it. Like if it never happens, I'll be okay. And if it does happen, like it's cool just to have it in the repertoire of Star Wars movies that I could put on any given day.
I wonder what the
sorry,
process is now for making these things.
Yeah.
Because obviously Patty Jenkins is directing. She's not writing the script. So what hand does she have in crafting the story? Who's actually making it? And especially because she made a comment about kind of like honoring the Legends material. And, as Rob has very succinctly pointed out, most of the Legends material would make absolute horseshit movies.
Yeah.
And that goes to the Rogue Squadron books too, I think.
Nice ideas, not very good dogfighting. It's just Dennis Lawson trying to solve mysteries half the fucking book, man. It's ridiculous. Like he has to bring a booster chair everywhere they go to reach the fucking doors, and it's ridiculous.
Dennis Lawson is normal size. Rob just has a problem with them that I can't figure out, and he has a problem with law and authority and being a son. And when he hears lost son, it sets off something in him. I don't know. It's
I watch
weird.
Night Court. I don't have any problem with authority.
Look, is
James
Bull still alive? Is Bull still alive? We need to get Bull in Star Wars. He should be
James. I think I'm more in the territory with you where we have plenty of the original trilogy, right? And this seemed to be like an extension of the original trilogy. And if I had to say, look, what do they have in production that is more of a movie for me and less of a series, and what's more of a series, less of a movie? I would put Rogue Squadron as a series, and I would put Acolyte as a movie. Like just the concept. I don't know anything about the scripts, but right. I'm telling like a fucking new Sith series bad person. You know what I mean? Like an apprentice, like something with a different arc that's not going to be a brother sister fucking relationship.
I absolutely get what.
Wait. When you say brother sister fucking, do you mean like Luke and Leia, or do you mean just like fucking like like more of ing?
No comment. So sorry. James, yeah, I didn't mean to put the two together, but read back in court, I'm guilty, I guess. Yeah.
Now, the problem with a Rogue Squadron TV series to me is because if you look at what you've established in terms of tonally with the movies, the dogfights are a bloodbath in these movies. And to have a reoccurring character that goes through some serious battles day in and day out, let alone an entire squad, it gets
Memphis
a little
Belle, bro.
weird. What's that?
No, that's Memphis Belle. That is literally what it's like. If you treat the story like what the RAF had to go through before, the Americans in the war and saved the world.
Well, no,
but that's what I'm talking about. Like, and you do end up with imposter syndrome. You end up with these people or survivor syndrome where they do survive and no one else lives consistently. Yeah. That's a genuine psychological. And if you start the character off brand new with all their friends or their friends or whatever, and then through the course of the series, they're the only ones left, and they're changing, and you know what I mean? Like
super dark. So but it would be gritty, real. To me, like Rogue One kind of set the standard in terms of how to do a war Star Wars movie. And so if you put one of those pilots up in that battle as one of your main characters, it looks pretty ugly because, 5 of your buddies just got whacked, and now you're going off to your next mission, and nope, the next 5, they get whacked too. And you stop making friends real fast because you just thought, well, you're not going to make it back. So no point in talking to you.
So that is, I think, an excellent point because people have to die, and they just die constantly in spaceships. That part is true. But on the other part of it, I feel like, do I really believe that a Disney Plus series would offer the visual effects level of spectacle needed for Fighter Pilots TV show on a consistent enough basis? Because it might just be a bunch of people sitting in. You know what I mean? Though, no, I mean like we haven't seen anything of scale visually. Like we haven't seen like a Rogue One level. We have on TV.
On TV, but it was just a while ago. It was Battlestar Galactica. Like they did plenty of dogfighting and pretty good stuff. The visual effects were 2006.
Yeah.
So it's been the better part of like 16 years. So if they could take 16 years ago and up it. The question is whether they would do that. They're not. What they're going to do is make this movie with or without Patty Jenkins. I assure you, or some form of it the same way. Well, then again, maybe not, because look, if Josh Trank was supposed to make Boba Fett the movie, James Mangold was supposed to make Boba Fett the movie.
Was Mangold supposed to do it?
Yeah. He 100% talked about it. Yeah. And then he's like, they went in another direction. Fuck Star Wars, And so, but now I'm like, Robert Rodriguez is making Boba Fett the series. You're like, well, I don't know. What are you going to do with the series? Well, I'm telling you, if you got to pull from World War II dogfighting, I'd rather you do than 1980s dogfighting where we just, go up in the air and look, the only thing that's interesting about the 80s, maybe dogfighting wise, is did we get into fights with UFOs somewhere in the Mediterranean? We just never talked about it kind of shit, but that don't make for good Star Wars.
Yeah, and we are making assumptions that that's what it would end up being too. We really don't know. I mean,
right?
It could be a through and through Star Wars movie about a fighter pilot, and half of it could be him walking around spaceports and shit, like doing other stuff. He's
unwheeling the Millennium Falcon wheel, for like a fucking 2 hours.
Kelly McGillis didn't get banged by Maverick in a cockpit of a
the Maverick got banged by Kelly McGillis. I guarantee you she was was the lead in that relationship.
Kind of a bitch. He was kind of like, I need to take a shower and all this shit. It's like, no, dude, you're
the only human shorter than Dennis Lawson is clearly Ethan Hunt. Oh.
It's not true. Dennis Lawson's normal size, but yeah,
true story. A Lawson is actually the increment of size to booster yourself over the cockpit. So it's 2 Lawsons for Cruise, 1 Lawson for Lawson.
Darth Del Rio says Big Screen Leak says there were production issues besides her schedule that has led to it being delayed.
Money. It's a big production issue. Warner Bros. is like, use the more, here's the money, and they're like, oh shit, Watto, thanks.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I mean these things never really go that smoothly. They never have, and apparently they never will.
But of all your money to invest in Wonder Woman 3, that's what they're planting their flag. I mean, if that's the best Warner Brothers can do,
bro, they're making more Godzilla versus King Kong films. Like,
oh my god,
like what are you talking? Look. As much as everyone loves Dune, okay, how do I say this? Dune makes $300 million. Dune makes $300 million. They make a sequel. Blade Runner 2049 made almost $1 billion. Nah, not enough. So it's like $700 million, it's $600 million, whatever. But now we're never doing that again. So it's just like, I don't know, that fucking studio's weird, bro. Super weird. They intentionally threw away their relationship with Christopher Nolan, and they're quote unquote the director's studio. They're the ones who wanted The Hobbit to be a trilogy.
Yeah.
They demanded it.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, in my opinion, they are a stupid fucking studio. I don't really like anything that if they do, honestly.
No. And they're the ones, guys. Okay, look, man, everyone knows how much we love our Batman on a Star Wars fucking show. But let's be perfectly honest. It's taken them how long to make one movie about a guy who dresses up as a bat and punches people? How long since a solo Batman film? 8 fucking years.
I could just film myself. I do it all the time.
Plus, 2012 was the last time Batman had his own fucking movie. And so it's like, because they don't fucking know what they're doing over there. Like they overthink everything, and it's a weird setup. It really is old school. Like John Peters gets paid every time. He got paid $13 million off Man of Steel. Like the way it's all the production stuff is cut up at Warner Brothers. It's like I imagine it's like all these little like techno unions shit fighting one another for projects.
That's where we make Wonder Woman 3 right now.
They literally rushed out Justice League in 2017 to make themselves a Christmas bonus.
Yeah.
They got fired over that. Like, that is a legit. Though. Kim Masters reported on it. Like, that's not even like.
Man, I got my fucking bonus. I got my Aquaman bucks, man.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah, then the studios should have sued the fuck out of all of them in court, So, like, I don't know, man. I don't like Warner Brothers. we all grew up with Warner Brothers, like, oh, that fucking Batman studio fucking makes all those great movies, you know.
They've been fucking me over since that third Batman movie, so I don't care. I'm used to it.
Look, I don't like the Batman Forever car. If I had to pick a fucking gripe, all right, I've never liked it, but whatever, Jason.
I call it Forever Bad. That's what I call it.
That really should have been Michael's last album, don't you think?
Forever Bad.
What?
Bad Forever.
You know? No. I like Forever Bad. Like, it's a proper sequel.
Seal could do it.
I want the whitest dude ever to do it, just to fucking piss everyone off, you know? Like, Michael wouldn't have cared. You know what? He should have let Ahmed do it. You know what I mean? Like, just to give him, just you take it over. You know,
Forever
just piss everyone off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look. It's a bummer that we have to go through this with Star Wars every fucking movie, because nobody trusts a movie announcement now. Like, that's never going to happen. You know?
Yeah.
So,
well,
like the one movie that should have been delayed was Rise of Skywalker.
Force Awakens.
The rumor that is I really don't know how to weigh the rumor, just for like what it is. And the rumor is that if the movie that is getting replaced with is an Old Republic movie,
that means they're rushing that, right?
I mean, at the same time, they have been doing things since they stopped putting out Star Wars movies. Like, they didn't just stop production on all kinds of things, and pre-planning and development of things has been going on this whole time. And there are Star Wars scripts in their possession for movies that we have no idea what they are.
Oh, sure.
But
like, especially Old Republic, because, if you do a Rogue Squadron movie, you're pretty much borrowing a lot of the already available material. Old Republic is like, okay, all that stuff's out the door and we're starting over. You got to redesign the entire world practically.
It'll be Revan based. Yeah.
Let's put a big red filter on the whole fucking thing. That's how you tie it all together, right?
But on the flip side, and we'll talk about that still some more. But I just want, before I forget, the thing that I don't like about the rumor existing at all is, if it's not true, whatever it ends up being is going to get shit on, because it's not this thing that fans already know and then have wanted a movie of. But I do think it's the freebie bone to throw. It's like, I did Star Wars Santa show today, and he had a joke about using Palpatine in episode 9 of, in case of emergency, break Palpatine glass and bring him out. And I feel like Old Republic is kind of that.
Yeah. And I think Rob hit on that the other day. He's talking about, like, they don't know how to not make a bad movie, but they know what people like and they know how to do more of it. And I think what's gotten all the attention recently is cameos and Easter eggs. Yeah. From the fandom, at least. And so they said, okay, well, if we put a bunch of Easter eggs, we tie in this character with this novel, and we put an Easter egg in here, and the fans just eat that stuff up.
Right.
And I think we're just going to get spoon-fed more and more of that. And I don't think that's a recipe for success long-term.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers tried that with Shazam. We'll just put Batman and Superman merchandise, and we'll even put another actor, not Henry Cavill, and cut off his head at the end. And that will get everyone to go see how it's tied together. No one gave a shit. Like, fun movie, but it just didn't tear up the box office,
Max Attack.
Oops.
Max dropped a thing. That's funny. Max, guess what?
What?
You're getting a Wonder Woman movie, but you're not getting a Star Wars movie.
Why?
So they delayed the Patty Jenkins Rogue Squadron movie, and they are making a Wonder Woman movie instead.
Huh?
yeah, you got it, Max.
Right here.
I think Max just literally exemplified everybody's attitude right now.
On the upside, Linda Carter is going to get paid, so that's nostalgia.
So they're going to make a Wonder Woman instead.
Yeah, Patty Jenkins, I guess, has to do Wonder Woman, and so she isn't going to make Rogue Squadron this year. And so, did you hear about the?
She lost the bet, Max. Right? They were spinning the bottle, and she got rolled Wonder Woman. She's like, I gotta do it. I gotta go make the movie. Like
she actually really she wanted to kiss somebody. She was like, "Oh, wrong game."
Gene Simmons is like, only I get that money. Only I get that money. Like,
yeah,
that sucks.
So are
two
you
for a joke?
Max, are you more excited about the rumor that there's going to be an Old Republic movie taking its place to go into production next year instead? Would you rather have the Old Republic movie, or would you rather have the Rogue Squadron movie?
The Old Republic movie. I think that the Rogue Squadron can be delayed. It's fine.
Yeah, that's kind of where I fall too.
We didn't get a lot of information about it, so not enough. I think to get everyone excited.
Max, I think the coolest thing we've seen with the X-wing was in Star Wars Visions when the dude flipped the X-wing upside down with a lightsaber and hacked everyone up. I mean, unless they're doing that in the Patty Jenkins movie, like
or upside down, landed upside down on Tatooine, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, you know, I for what it's worth, like I was trying to like make sense of the rumors and trying to think about what the possibilities were. And some time ago, I actually put out a video on it and an article about it. Was that I heard that a High Republic movie was the intention. It was what they were working on. Like there was a writer working on a movie for. Wait, hold on. Remember, no. See, because, dude,
never forget Rob, Shadows of the Empire.
Rob, never forget A New Hope. Okay, because
they don't. Why should I?
Yeah, or Return of the Jedi. No, I'm saying is a shitty book has nothing to do with the film. It just doesn't.
No, it's an era. Look, man, it's the Shadows of the Empire. They keep remaking this nebulous period of what should have been 10 fucking minutes between Empire and Jedi, and trying to mine it for some gold that doesn't exist.
You know, and 200 years before.
High Republic is Jesus Star Wars, bro. Like it literally looks like the version of Star Wars you'd go in a Christian store and you're like, oh, they got their own Star Wars. It's called the High Republic. Like it fucking doesn't look anything. I'm an artist, man. So like, I mean, I think I am.
I am with you.
I'm a visual guy. I got to be careful about the statements I make on this podcast. So because people make you don't fucking draw. Look, I'm a visual dude. And the High Republic is like the most generic, it's what happens when Hallmark doesn't want to make the cool shit, right? They just want precious moment Star Wars.
It's expanded universe quality dog.
It's expanding into that territory. George would be like, that's fucking weak sauce, you know?
But see, the thing is, I'm going somewhere with this.
Okay.
Is that number one? Is that all of that shit sucking doesn't mean the movie's going to be bad or good. It has like nothing to do with it. All of that shit might have its hands tied because of that movie if it's real. And so, but putting it out there, in the one of the best stories that they ever told with Revan was Revan at the end of I think it was at 2 or whatever. He's like, he or she, depending on how you put the character, is like frozen. And in the Old Republic video game, one of the best stories that they ever told is that character is on Frozen and comes out and it's like, oh shit. And then that changes everything in the game. It was probably like the best part of the game story for me anyways. And I was like, what if they're doing that? What if they're going to link these things up and bring, because the rumors of it being a Revan film exist. They're also that video game, the remake, that is more than a remake. That's literally a redo. They're rewriting the whole thing, from what I understand.
That's gonna make the fans happy.
But what I'm suggesting is like this could end up being it could end up being something where Revan goes from the Old Republic into the High Republic, and maybe that explains how the Sith even exists. Because
Yeah,
if
you
they
convinced me. I can't wait. You know, like
no, if they
you know, Jason,
but
you are a good Hollywood man. I appreciate
what is
it.
Acolyte going to do? I'm a shill. But what is Acolyte? Acolyte. What if Acolyte and this do interface though? And what if it brings the Old Republic and the High Republic together? And actually, I mean, I'm just saying there could be something more to the base level rumor that is being thrown out there right now.
I think it's a guarantee that that's the case, because I think Disney is definitely afraid of doing its own thing, of having a show that stands at its own 2 feet with its own story and its own characters, because they're going to be like, well, why are people going to watch? What's the hook? And the hook is always that it connects with something else, or it's got this other person in there that you already identify with. But I can't see any scenario where Disney would ever say, okay, we're going to do this completely new story with this completely new character in this new time period, and it's going to have no correlation to what's come before or what's come after.
Yeah, I mean,
White robes,
is
man.
one film,
Just a fucking movie filled with white robes, and everyone's having a good time.
It's not going to do. It's not going to do that. It's
They
not
all do the Care Bear stare. You know what I mean? Like fucking save the galaxy and shit. Like
no, no. I really don't have any problems with ideas of representation and people being able to see themselves in. Sort no, but that what's it called? Star Wars Squadron's video game. It attempted to do what the High Republic does, but it had to do it with cinema cutscenes. Yeah, and it ended up looking like it was just wild. It had no coherency. It didn't make sense. One of the aliens, I didn't know what it was supposed to be, but it sounded like the molester from Family Guy. It's like, oh, come over here, come get my spaceship. I was like,
he was Obi-Wan in this Family Guy Star Wars, right?
Yeah, it was wild. I mean, but it really didn't work, and a lot of the things that
he was Pedo-Wan. Get it?
Pedo-Wan.
Hey, they had to make that joke in the show, right? Seems like a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Look, it has its fans. Every time they announce a High Republic something, people on my Twitter feed, this is the greatest. I'm just like, whatever. Go read Star Wars Ronin. There's a fucking interesting Star Wars story.
I'm gonna get that book, even though I said my.
People are like, it's not tied to anything. I'm like, that's why it can do whatever it wants. Yeah. Like that's where the new fucking. If you told me that Star Wars Ronin was Tales of the Jedi, that it was like, you know, some of the very first Sith Jedi stories ever, right? Then yeah, it totally. But it's just High Republic again. Just feels like a studio trying to make fetch happen, you know, and it's never gonna fucking happen. So,
but everyone's been wanting that for like.
Okay. Yeah. Right? See, here's where I disagree with you wholeheartedly. Is that you're saying a whole era of Star Wars, a whole timeline can't work because a phase of a book series.
I'm saying because it was developed with a bunch of studio people. There wasn't actually a vision for the central core of the story. It feels like they just created a toy line in which they can make any character happen, and there's no purpose or central moral or theme or point to it.
There's no George Lucas.
It feels exactly what like Ubisoft would conjure up to make an open world fucking game that can just go forever and you just pick whatever you want. That's not a movie. A movie is characters making specific decisions and consequences, and
that's what I'm saying though. It's like equating what's happening in Return of the Jedi to what's happening in Shadows of the Empire.
No, because at least Return of the Jedi or Shadows of the Empire had a lead. They said Dash Rendar is your new character. It fucking sucked, but there was the character.
And Return of the Jedi comes after it and doesn't care.
But Return of the Jedi has Luke as like, who's the character for High Republic? Name it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. There's no character. It's just a bunch of images with Jesus with sabers and shit.
It could do anything. That's exactly why.
It's the hometown buffet of Star Wars, all right? Like it's a bunch of food and none of it's worth the fucking price.
You're taking it as if they're going to adapt that. I'm saying they're just going to make a movie set there and all of that shit. Yeah.
You're acting like they had a plan from the beginning. Like the plan was just break High Republic in case of Patty Jenkins fucking. I don't like. Man.
No, Old Republic. Break Old Republic.
Old Republic. All right. Well, not. But I don't look. Just taking Old Republic and making High Republic the sequel and saying everyone this movie's going to be the sequel to that. Then you better find a filmmaker who has a fucking take. That's the whole reason why the Mando thing got put together is Favreau went to her with a take on something. And he was like, look, I don't want to do Boba Fett. I want to do this other guy. So we got room to fucking do whatever we want. Okay. So at least he played within the realm of, let's give them a visual they know, which is Boba Fett. But let's live to the promise that I always wanted to see when I saw that first character back in 1978. And I wonder where the big fucking rod went and all the other stuff. There's nothing, unless there's some genius plan, right? And they got some badass fucking thing. There's nothing from the books for the High Republic or anything that's been out that has broken through to Twitter and been like, Rob, the only thing that's broken through to Twitter from Star Wars publishing was Lost Stars, Dr. Aphra. Mm-hmm. They go, man. Like, that's it, you know? So, like, adapt Lost Stars if you got to fucking do something. But, like, again, that's just original trilogy era shit.
Saying,
so, put Lost Stars in the High Republic. How about that, right? Like, I don't know.
Nobody's saying adaptation. Nobody's saying adaptation at all.
Charlie Kaufman wishes they were, though. Money,
but I don't for a second think that anything from those books would end up in a High Republic film.
But
it's visually... It is the visual equivalent of C-3PO the cereal. Okay, it is this bland, whitish looking fucking like a bunch of aliens. They're all wearing white. Like, man, I want to see when you see
Rob.
When you see
they have an out. Rob, they have an out. It says concept art on every fucking dumb piece of thing that they put out.
Why do the Jedi can't have different colored robes in a different era with different patterns and textures and stuff? Why does it always have to be brown or white and the black? Like, there could be different eras. In history, not everything was, they weren't all wearing solid colors and shit, like uniformly across the whole fucking nation.
At some point, something happens where they all start wearing brown ones together.
Yeah, it just seems to me like, hey, you know what? You know what? Here's what we got, man. We got this action figure, and we just kind of want to keep using the same body. So we'll just change the hands and the head, and that's a movie. That's not a movie, man. So sorry.
You
prove me wrong.
Doesn't make sense.
I'm being a little bit of a dick. That's why. But I'm not trying to bring coherent conversation to this because the whole premise of it's absurd. It is not. There hasn't been one story out of the High Republic that has even met Tales of the Jedi at this point,
and none of that matters. None of it matters. It doesn't matter.
I get
you're right. It doesn't matter because they're going to do whatever they want, but it will matter when you go see the movie and you're like, it doesn't feel like it went anywhere. I don't know why. And I'll be like, well, because go back to the episode where Rob made no fucking sense. Now it makes sense, right?
The carriage for the horse is what you're doing. Is you're assuming that shit is going to dictate what happens in the movie. Right. That's just not true.
I'm saying they don't have that. Okay, I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
They've established that era to some extent, is what you're saying. Right?
You're telling me right now. Mm-hmm. You're telling me right now. There's a filmmaker, okay, who's reading those books, going, "This is the material. I have a take for an original character in this era." No, they don't. Right? They may say, "I want to do." What did I say at the beginning of the episode should have been the movie? Like, what did I say?
but once again,
that's what I'm saying.
But okay, so you are proving yourself incorrect in that then.
No, because that's still the era that's dovetailing off of or setting up is basically the prequels. It's just a prequel era show. They just decided to set it right before, so you don't mess with whatever George said.
Like it's 200 years before, and if it ends up being High Republic and Old Republic and High Republic is nobody. I'm the one who said it could connect into the High Republic.
It would be boring. Look, I stand to be corrected. I have an 80% accuracy rate, so 20% I'm fucking wrong.
Revan showing up into the High Republic era and fucking up everything. And confusing the idea of the Sith being vanquished could be fascinating.
Well,
Could also be when Voldemort shows up in all these Fantastic Beasts films and you're just confused by what you're watching, because I thought I was watching a Pokemon movie in the first one, and now I'm getting a prequel
as
to
a
Harry
Fantastic
Potter.
Beast, I never finished one of those movies. So I don't know what you're talking about right now.
That's what I'm talking about.
if they put
I'm done.
Revan
Go
in,
ahead.
they have to shoehorn Revan in there, honestly, because you've already established, that the Sith have been gone. You've already built into the lore so much of that era that they can't contradict. That, yeah, it's a boring era. And so I think that's kind of what Rob's saying. And the bigger point, I think, is the fact that who's in charge? So if they make a High Republic TV show, movie, comic book, there's no central person in charge. Like Favreau has got the Mandalorian.
Leslie
Lucas was in
Headland has
charge.
High Republic right now.
Who does?
Leslie Headland, I think is her name.
But she's not in charge like the comics, the publishing, and all that. So I mean, there's a lot of just disparate ideas I think going on because there's no central voice.
What they've done is Headland stuff. Everything's a prequel to her stuff.
Okay.
So she is at the quote end of that era, which means for all we know, what's an end of an era? That could be 100 years. It could be whatever they decided is. It could be a year. Whatever they decide and whatever the story ends up being, she's the end of it. So phase 1 of that stuff, it was super far removed from everything. Phase 2 is about to start, and then and I think there's 3 phases, and by and then she's technically like a phase 4 of it. So all of those phases just have to end up dovetailing into her phase, if you will. And so it's pretty much like it's so open until we see what she's done. It's like I agree with you. I agree with you guys that it's the High Republic stuff is shit over.
It's
overall.
not the setting of the Acolyte. It's the story about a character that look, these are about character stories. If you turned it into just what setting and era we're in, the majority of Star Wars fans out there, not us, the real people, the normal people, right? They don't fucking know Star Wars jumps around time and shit. A lot of those people thought Rogue One was a sequel to Last Jedi and shit. So, or Episode 7, whenever the time frame came out. Like they don't understand this jumping around thing. And so, what is the character? What is the story? And you would think
Secret Sith.
No, I'm talking about for High Republic. Like for the Acolyte, there's something new we haven't seen yet, right? The bad guy story, right? Which has done well, right, lately in the theaters they're not my movies, but Venom does well. The Joker movie made $1 billion. Like there's room to tell that story in Star Wars. The High Republic is just milquetoast, guys. Like I'm sorry,
we know what it ends up culminating into. And it ends up culminating into Secret Sith. And if Acolyte's good, then there we go. Then the era has some kind of chance. You know what I mean?
Make the interesting story. Don't do setup, because you're just going to put yourself in this position of, don't worry, 3 movies from now you're going to get the thing you want. Like that's
here's my point, Rob. You and I can go right now and we could decide that we're making a movie 1 million years after A New Hope. I could go out and make the shittiest fucking trilogy of movies ever, and you could make the greatest trilogy of Star Wars to ever exist 1 million years after A New Hope. And it has nothing to do with the fact if people are wearing white robes or not, or any shit stories that coincide with it. It has to do with what you said. If they make a good character who connects, and characters,
but they've already laid 1 foot down in the High Republic, and they said, here's our visual look for this era. And as we know, Star Wars is a visual medium. It starts with paintings.
Says concept art on most of it.
Yeah, that's called we don't believe in it.
Yeah.
All right. Like until we get a real director who's going to have a vision and change everything. But that's a studio thing, man. Look, you've worked with studios. I'm trying to tell you, when you set on the path of I don't know what the fuck I'm making, someday we'll get there. That's not how you do it, man. That is not the way. You can't. Like, you have to have someone who goes, this is the thing I'm making. Here's my take. Look, that's the difference between Thor 2 and Thor 3. All right? One was a studio's like, serious, not serious, I don't fucking know, interconnected. And the other one, a person who knew what the fuck they were making. Right? And that's it. That's the difference.
Era doesn't matter. I agree. The stories take place in the same era.
But they've already, man, this is a loop, huh? I see what you've done. You've come to bargain. All right. Well played.
Ryan Johnson's Looper. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah. And you know what? I changed my mind. I can't wait. Let's go make it. I
Well-
can't wait. I love this plan. I'm glad to be a part of it.
No, the rumor isn't saying that. The rumor is simply saying that it's the Old Republic movie, and which is mostly to me just second guessing the prequels to the movie, which we already got in episode 7. So what are we doing?
It would be weird to make a Knights of the Old Republic film and release a remake video game, right? Like at the same time.
It makes
That
sense
would be-
actually, though.
You're not doing okay. You can't fit the whole game into one film. So
No.
if you're gonna set up one film, but then you put the
Oh, for the record, I don't think that the rumor is that they're remaking the video game as a movie. It's that it's a movie from that era of Star Wars.
from disc 1, right?
I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, that's both of those things are worth considering.
It seems strange that if they're going to do an Old Republic era, that they're going to have the primary focus of that be a video game, and they're going to build off of that video game to create your movies.
Mhm.
I would think that they would want the movies to be kind of the flagship, and then the video games to be the spin-off of the movie, not vice versa. So that seems kind of odd that
Yeah, I
they
was
would
curious.
say, "Oh, here's a spin-off of a video game for a movie." I don't know how because I mean, your biggest event should be the frickin' movie, and that's what people should be going to theater to see, is the big spectacle, not something that's going to be a smaller side story. So I don't know about all that. That seems odd.
Yeah, what do you think, Max? Do you think they would make an Old Republic movie while they make an Old Republic video game, but not put Revan as a main driving force of an Old Republic movie? That
Well, I just thought it was interesting that they even are re-releasing the video anyway. I mean, I'm sure people wondered why.
yeah.
So I
Demon Souls money, Max. They want that Demon Souls money.
Yeah.
You know.
love that Demon Soul
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to Elden Ring, but and I love Demon Souls, but the problem with the game thing is they need a new game now, and EA kind of screwed them over, like in that territory. So it is faster to remake a game than it is to conjure a whole thing up from scratch and balance and figure. Like we did Spyro, the whole trilogy. Well, Toys R Us did 2 games and a third studio did the third, but that was 1 year. They were able to remake the whole thing at a
Yeah.
Pixar level, but visual budget in 1 year. If you design a Spyro trilogy from the scratch, that's 4 to 6, maybe 8 years worth of content, right? It's way harder. So that's why it's just faster.
Yeah,
So-
there have been rumors, and who knows what is accurate and stuff like that. But I am pondering this stuff more seriously now, that the Old Republic video game, or the remake, has been in development for like 18 months before we have the announcement. But what I'm throwing out there is that Lucasfilm didn't stop production on Star Wars projects and properties when they stopped releasing Rise of Skywalker Part 2. They just said, we're going to take a break, and they continued to work. So there is a good chance that this Old Republic movie was going to be slated in there at some point, and concept art and redesigning the whole era has been an ongoing endeavor. In a weird way, the High Republic may be what helps blend those two things to get from where they're at on that design to where we are by A New Hope-ish times, or prequel times, and I should say. And but with that, I found it very curious that they weren't showing us anything from the Old Republic remake except for Revan in a pre-rendered scene. I didn't expect them to show us like gameplay yet or anything
Gaming
like that.
marketing's weird though, man.
It
I
is,
agree
it
with
is.
you, but they
Like-
are so full of them. Some of these gaming studios still do countdown clocks, bro. Like
Yeah, but like I want to see a scene that we know from the original game. Are the speeders totally different? Do the droids, the Old Republic era droids, have they been redone? Like, are we seeing these things getting upscaled into film quality stuff? Because what if the movie was on the slate, was being developed, then they started saying, "Hey, we could throw this into an Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic remake, and really make that better, and then have that game coincide with it, and everybody's going to be happy." I mean, that could be the case. I hope so, but it probably not. But I mean, there's a lot of moving pieces that we don't know what the situation is yet, I think.
My cousin joined. Say hi, Jacob.
Hi,
Say
cousin.
Jake.
Jacob Roy. Your
Max was
cousin.
kind enough to offer me well wishes over the weekend. Appreciate that, Max. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I saw that this morning. I'm like, Jason was like, "Oh, Max is gonna be on." I'm like, "I'll just say thank you." So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Were you sick?
I get sick anytime I get a shot. In the Army, they gave us this typhoid shot, and I was the one who got so sick they were afraid. But it happens. I always recover, but that's why I get the shots, because I'm like, if I get the real sickness, I'm dead.
I didn't get any. I didn't get any side effects from my first two.
My wife got so much energy, she cleaned the fucking house. Like she was zipping around, and Jason typed "get out the house," and I'm like, "Yeah, this is fucking weird." So that was
lizard people taking over. We're just bending to their whim.
Yeah, but got a lovely clean house out of it. So thank you, Booster Shot.
Thank you, lizard people.
Thanks, lizard people. Yes.
All right.
You know.
So, I have a little kick. I enjoy myself some true crime every now and then, and I got on a kick this week, and I was studying, but being horrified by little Jeffrey Dahmer. And like I find it fascinating when the serial killer James got scared. He's like, "Oh no."
Like to talk about that.
It's always the nerdy white kid to go first.
James is like, "Oh no, that Dahmer. He's gonna eat me."
Watch 3 Scream films. I knew how it goes.
I need to wear a red shirt next time.
But yeah, because like obviously I can't do a show without bringing up Nirvana 3 or 4 times, and I find it fascinating, like Jeffrey Dahmer's backstory, and like he really is kind of a Kurt Cobain type. Like they are kind of that weird loser in sort of a hickish town nobody really likes. They're like going up to him, and they're like paying him to do impersonations of people having seizures and stuff. He was that weirdo.
Correct.
And
Crispin Glover's like, yes, yeah, okay, all right.
No, exactly. It's like Crispin Glover and Kurt Cobain and Jeffrey Dahmer. Which one was going to become a cannibal? Any of them could.
Hold on. This is really good stuff.
Yeah. No, but and I'm just like I'm just like reading about him, and I'm like, wow, what like was he destined to be a cannibal and a serial killer? In a weird way, kind of a Star Wars theme. If you're Rey. If you're a Palpatine, doesn't mean you're going to become an emperor, an empress. You know what I mean?
Was like Rey 8 people? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
That scene was cut from the Duel of the Fates, right? Like
Chewbacca ate a porg, and those are people to me. But anyways, yeah. So he's just like this like weird kid, and it sounds like his parents. Oh no, he got really upset about the 80s again. It's okay though. So in the 80s, divorce was kind of a big deal. And I think it really does get downplayed a lot. Like when my parents got divorced, it was like it was a traumatic thing that hurt my I was embarrassed to say that my parents were divorced. Today, nobody gives a shit if you are divorced. It's not a big deal. People are like, oh, okay, whatever. But in the 80s, it was kind of a bigger deal. And he was a product of that kind of situation. And on top of that, his parents just kind of stopped paying attention to him. And during the
he's
divorce,
the kid from Kramer versus Kramer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Well, no, in a way we all were. But
whew.
Okay, it looks like we got 2 James. Okay, there we go. We got 2 James. We got scary dark James, and we got light James. Which James?
Which one am I?
Which James are you? Anyways, so yeah, his parents getting divorced. around this time, there's like things in his story too that I find fascinating, in the sense that like he like starts like messing with dead animals, and that really gets like, because of the outcome, ends up kind of like peppering, if you will, his the whole outlook on him. But I mean, as a kid, did any of us not really take a stick and poke a dead animal at some point and go, ew, that's gross? No, just me.
No.
Am I the only killer here? Am I the only?
No.
Am I the killer?
I
Yeah.
would fucking cry.
I did.
Can you do something real quick?
Yeah.
Just humor me.
Okay.
We look like on the Brady Bunch. I'll look up at Jason. You look at,
Do this one.
yeah.
More of the Brady Bunch variety hour, though, man. It's not.
Yeah, I
a
guess
good one.
I didn't want to dissect the frog in 7th grade.
I
didn't want to do it, and there was no opting out. I guess today they will let you opt out. Back then, if you were a vegan or a vegetarian, you'd get your ass kicked, man.
You got an F.
Yeah. I looked at my frog and I decided it was already dead, and so I was just like, okay, well, you've already killed it. They didn't make me kill it. They gave me an actual dead frog already. And so I just, wanting to be the most likely to be a serial killer in the school, I just made it into mush. I just cut it into mush and said, there you go. What a waste of everything.
I forgot about this till you brought it up. But I remember my frog experience. I didn't do it. I was dating this girl, and apparently she had been writing letters to David Berkowitz, right? So so she wanted to cut the frog. And that was the day I'd found out she'd been writing letters to David Berkowitz. Like, she had a whole bunch.
Cut the cheese instead.
Who is David Berkowitz?
Son of Sam. Son of Sam. Yeah. Yeah. They got correspondence. And so I was like, you're weird. You cut the frog and I'm out of this fucking thing. That is too weird for me, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. She enjoyed it. So.
But
wait a minute. How old was she?
14, 15.
Ugh.
Yeah, Son of Sam's a fucking weirdo, Max. David Berkowitz. Yeah, look. This is. Most kids didn't even know who David Berkowitz was, but
yeah,
I didn't,
paranoid.
I didn't know who that was until you just said it.
Yeah, so I knew because my mom was like, Berkowitz, Adam Walsh, all that stuff. You're gonna get murdered by somebody. Someone's gonna come murder you, and I'm like, thanks, Mom, for that paranoia. But that I'm dating someone who's writing, like, okay. So she cut the frog.
I had the fun time of being the same age as Adam Walsh, and apparently looking very much like him when I was that age. So my mom was freaked out because everybody would stop her and be like, "Oh, your son looks like Adam Walsh." And yeah,
before or after? Like, oh no, oh no! Why do I say these things? Yeah. Look, Mr. Morals over there. He's like,
ruined.
No, it was pretty funny.
Form, Peter, bad form.
It was pretty funny.
How dare you,
I laughed.
He's like, I write you. He's saying nobody's writing LOLOLO. See you taking notes.
Yeah. Anyways, so he's just like a weird little kid, like any Star Wars fan, and that's kind of where I'm taking this. Is that it? We lost Rob now.
Oh,
Rob's back. Lost Rob. Rob's back.
I know. I never left.
Yeah. But anyways, as I'm going through and I'm watching trial videos and stuff like that, I hit a gold mine. As a Star Wars fan, where I'm like, what is going on? And so, just in case I've done a poor job of reiterating, he ends up going and figuring out that he makes out with a boy, figures out in the 80s that he's gay, and also at the same time is tearing apart animals. And somewhere in that,
that's just helping every paranoid person in the 80s about about gay men, right? Like, that's what they're doing, ripping apart animals and communities. Like, shut up.
Yeah, so some people theorize that like because he had to be ashamed of being gay in the 80s based off of the way that it generally was in most podunk places, he probably associated this other darkness with it, and he ends up combining them. And he ends up when he goes out to like clubs and picks up a dude, he does well. It starts off kind of sad. He doesn't want one to leave, and so they start wrestling. And he doesn't. Somewhere in the wrestling, he gets pissed off and loses control and picks up a weight. And one of the things about Dahmer, by the way, that I never realized is that he was huge. I want to say he's like 6'2", 6'3", something like that. He's like a big dude. I always just thought he was a small little dude for some reason, but he's a big dude. He picks up
Steve Buscemi and Con Air played this frail
yeah,
Dahmer-esque guy. That's why
he ends up hitting the dude in the head with the weight, and he says he didn't mean to kill him. He intended to, just in anger and in the wrestling thing, to knock him out and keep him there, but he kills him. And then he figures, and then he starts posing the body, and it goes down this dark kind of path. And then he eventually takes a little break and starts doing it again, starts picking up guys, killing them, unfortunately, and eating them. And when it all kind of comes to a head, he ends up, I think he ends up trying to eat a 14-year-old boy. The boy ends up getting out or escapes before he could be murdered. And he's like, no. And it's kind of like when the jig is kind of up. And he says, oh, he's drunk. He's just drunk. There's all these other stories where he has like,
what, do you watch Clue? You know,
yeah.
Dead drunk.
yeah. But and then but anyways, here is a dude during the trial. And if anybody wants to say anything over it, just unmute your mic on the bottom there to talk over it if you need to.
Watching Return of the Jedi. So the first idea of the temple area occurs only after 3 of the charged killings. And because this seemed curious, I explored what he had in mind about the temple and what the significance of this movie was to him in great depth. And in fact, he and I sat together and watched all of the scenes in the film Return of the Jedi that he considered significant.
The temple's where he keeps the bodies.
A character known as the Emperor in Return of the Jedi, and the character who's obviously supposed to be Satan in Exorcist 3. In the case of the Emperor, he seems to be zapping people with energy beams of some kind and able to manipulate them in that way.
Force lightning, fake fan,
Each of the characters in the scenes that he repeatedly viewed actually torments someone else in a way that might be described as torture. But Mr. Dahmer said that what was appealing to him, though there were occasionally fantasies where that might be, that he never enacted that. And he's consistently told me that making others suffer was not his desire sexually. But that he did identify with the power of these characters. The characters are unattractive ones in both those scenes, and not ones that one would expect most people to want to identify with. But he liked the idea of the power that they had. And it happens that both those characters are portrayed in the films with yellow eyes that give them an eerie look. And Mr. Dahmer even went to the extent of buying a pair of contact lenses with that yellow tint that he would wear when he would go to the clubs, so that he could have more of that look. He describes some sense of using the films to get himself in the proper mood to go out and cruise for a victim. And sometimes he would bring
the reverb sounds like
home
George.
and watch a portion of the film with them and direct their attention to those scenes
Oh
too.
shit!
And so it did
my
play
fault.
some part in setting the right mood for him for committing these crimes. And he explained that he identified with the characters because he felt that he was thoroughly evil and corrupt, just as those two characters were.
So
It sounded like George the whole time in the background going,
Yeah.
and then he thought he was a Hut Slayer, and that's where that all came from. And I just didn't agree with it.
no, but I mean, isn't it wild that when I don't know if it was clear, but Dahmer is wearing the contact lenses when he's going out to clubs to pick up his victims. Yeah. So Palpatine. So the moral of the story is don't go home.
We
with Palpatine.
warned Hayden, Jason. We
We
totally warned him. We told him don't do that. Me and George totally told him not to do it, but he did it, and then he got really weird.
He got his butt eaten, but in a different way.
Oh no!
Oh, come
Stop
on.
it.
You're gonna tell me Palpatine
Stop
never ate
it.
Anakin's butt?
No,
I think so.
Not space opera. There wasn't enough
Right.
time, man. Maybe it occurred somewhere in between the films.
Maybe Masameda, you know.
Giant horns.
A little
No,
on my head.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought that was
Yeah.
wild because when when you get down to it, like when you think about Dahmer and when he's going around doing it, he's got Emperor Palpatine eyes, and that there were dudes that were like, "Oh, Emperor Palpatine, yeah, fuck him, no, fuck him," and they're like going.
Bro, everyone was so high on coke there. They were saying all sorts of shit. I think Dahmer was the only one aware what his eye color was at that
So
point.
this actually is like that's how Ray's parents are, or
Dahmer?
whatever, No.
Okay. Oh.
So you're saying Ray's mom fucked Ray's dad because he had Palpatine eyes?
Oh, that makes sense. Now it was called the High Republic because they were all high, right? Like it's the Cheech and Chong of Star Wars. Everyone's having a good time, man. Like, but they all got bloodshot eyes. They all look like Sith. So they don't trust each other.
Yeah,
They're incredibly attracted to one another, though. That's
Uh,
awesome.
I mean, but when you listen to like what Dahmer says about himself too, he's like he feels like he is this monster and this thing, and it's like I truly wonder. I'm like, because when I watched Return of the Jedi as a little kid, I would be Luke, Han, Wicket, and I'd be the Emperor if everyone else called all of those characters first, because you need a bad guy, Darth Vader and the Emperor. If you're playing like the bad guy side. But
No one ever picked the Emperor, Jason. Like
if somebody else was Darth Vader, you gotta be the Emperor.
Nobody picked the Emperor.
He
You
has
picked the
lightning.
Emperor?
I picked the Emperor before.
You ever take a narcissist test? Just curious.
Oh, I don't even need to take one. I know the results.
I picked Gary Kurtz once, and people thought I was fucking weird. It's like it's the '80s. I got the hair. I can do it.
I want Rob to shave the mustache someday if he ever loses a bet and have to have a Gary Kurtz beard for like a week on the show.
So I've never wanted to be the Emperor, but I did accidentally. Well, I shouldn't say I intentionally electrocuted one of my friends once.
Oh shit!
This is a fun story.
How'd you do that, Palpatine?
So,
And you kept doing it, right?
one of my
Did he-
side.
Wait, hold on. Just I want to know the end. I'm a spoiler guy. Did he come? Sorry, go on.
You gotta pay for that part.
Thank you, David Carradine.
So I used to work at this observatory. I used to teach astronomy, and I had access to a whole bunch of cool little things. And one of the things I had was, one of those static machines where you put your hand on it and your hair stands up.
Yeah.
And so my good buddy of mine, I said, all right, put your hand on here. I'm going to have your hair stand up. Whatever you do not take your hand off this thing, because this is a circuit now. And if you take your hand off, you're going to get the shock of your life. All right. So he's like, all right, cool. So we start the machine up. His hair goes up. And then what I did with all my other friends is you have these plastic rods with metal balls at the end, hand those out to everybody, and then they could just start smacking him. And every time you smack him, sparks fly off his butt.
Oh shit.
So we couldn't see it very well, so we decided to turn the lights off so you could actually see the sparks coming off his body. And after about 5 minutes, yeah, this is my best friend too. And after about 5 minutes of this, he's decided he's had enough getting tortured, and he's going to try to make a break for it. Well, it's pitch black in this room; we can't see anything. So all of a sudden, we just hear these footsteps go running off into the darkness, and all of a sudden a lightning bolt just jumps from this machine across the room and just zaps the shit out. And it was like out of a movie. We turned the lights on eventually.
Father, no!
Straight up smoke coming out. You know,
oh, Mr. Wizard, what hath thou wrought? You know, like
this is why you don't let 17-year-olds run your science department. Yeah.
The dark side of Radio Shack, man. Like this is.
So, do you get any superpowers or anything? Can he fly? Can he see the future? And
then we ate him. What?
He's lost a few IQ points. Is that kind of a superpower? I mean, you know, why not? What's the saber tooth? You know.
Do you remember that Beverly Hillbillies movie where Granny's like? Yeah. That's what he was doing.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Do you remember that part? They electrocuted. They did electric shock therapy.
Yeah, they did electroshock therapy.
You know that they did electroshock on Lou Reed to make him not be bisexual. It didn't work.
Told you that's why I was Gary Kurtz. It all ties together. And he made a whole movie about this. Like
Carrie Fisher, but she just couldn't remember shit afterwards.
He's like, he saw Fairuza Balk and was like, I want to shock her. And like, no, don't, Gary, you can't put her in the movie. Then they just got very close. They didn't do it though.
Yeah.
Brando would have got shocked. You know,
I mean, but yeah. Anyways, not to like victim blame or whatever, but I was like, you guys were going home with Emperor Palpatine here. You know, I mean, well, come on. I mean, that's kind of a bad idea. Yeah, I'm just gonna throw that one out there.
It was the Rick McCollum days of Coke. Like you got to understand, like they couldn't tell what they were seeing.
Did he do Coke?
Dahmer, huh? It was the '80s. Who wasn't like. Cosby, everyone was doing coke.
No, I mean,
Dahmer
Rick
was
McCullough.
probably the only one. Oh, Rick McCullough. Oh,
we just joked.
Allegedly, like
we just joked.
No, he just has coke blown hair. That's the funny part. Like,
I mean, what movie producer doesn't do coke? I mean, is a true question.
He produced 100 unaired Young Indiana Jones documentaries. It takes a certain amount of energy to get through that. All right.
You know what? I'm going to throw it out there.
That coffee.
Yeah. That Kathy Kennedy is probably like a legend at producing because I don't get that she was very fun. I don't think she was doing coke in the 80s.
Oh no, yeah. I think she is super serious.
Yeah, she seemed like they were kind of boring. Probably. Well, actually,
do you think George ever did coke?
Probably.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think he was doing it during Star Wars time, but I mean, he was in the era of the counterculture stuff. Like I said,
look, there's a Linda Ronstadt joke in there, but I'm not gonna make it. All right?
Sure.
Just gonna. You know what? I made enough jokes. I think. Let's leave that there.
What do you call it? At the same time, Frank Marshall does seem like that dude partied hard. Like I have a hard time imagining that Frank Marshall didn't do psychedelics, and that Kathy Kennedy must have a fucking cool side of her if she's married to that cool guy. He's got to bring out the party girl in her sometimes. That's all I'm suggesting.
He made arachnophobia. Like he has to have a sense of adventure.
I mean, if you were hanging out with Orson Welles, you were doing some drugs, right? Right? I mean,
yeah.
Let's see. Right? I'm definitely eating.
I'm gonna tweet him. I'm gonna tweet and ask him. I'm gonna see if he answers. I'm gonna
Orson Welles,
Frank Marshall. What drugs did you do? And what drugs did you do with Orson Welles?
Frank Marshall?
Yeah, Frank Marshall was involved.
Though.
No.
Yeah.
Frank Marshall's.
Frank Wells died, and this is getting very confusing. Like this is Dick York, right?
Kathy Kennedy's husband
thing at this point. Yeah.
And,
no, I'm thinking of Penny Marshall's brother. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Frank Marshall is.
That'd be an odd throw.
Kathy Kennedy's husband, he's producing Indiana Jones 5.
Oh, okay.
And it doesn't look like he's doing any drugs these days.
He's also first or second AD on all the Raiders films, so I can't remember which.
Yeah. He's a. I mean, I think it's kind of funny when we look at the. We're obviously mostly joking, But when you look at the like Disneyfication of these people, of like artists, it is kind of funny because I don't know any artist who isn't weird. Anybody who's an artist is fucking weird. And the people get hired at Disney. You're not weird, Max. Disney's like, not me. I'm completely.
Oh, my favorite
vanilla.
argument in a t-shirt company art department was a sales rep went, and they're weird. They don't hang out with people. They're not social. I'm like, because we fucking draw. Like, like, do you understand? Like, who is this mother? Like,
Yeah.
you're the jocks, we're the nerds, and we make all the money, and you take the credit. Like, this is what we're in now. Now we're getting blamed for not being sociable too. Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
It's the way it works.
That's
That's why I'm envious of this high social creative types, because I'm like, wow, I mean, I just don't have the energy for it, like, or the coke habit, but like Rick McCollum, no, I'm not. He doesn't do anything. I don't want to get sued, but like, take it all back. I was being a jerk, but I didn't know. Like, this is funny because like when you watch the Scream movies, they're just the whole goofy take was that the generation was being influenced by movies, and that's why they're murdering people. But that literally is Jeffrey Dahmer pulling that card, right? Like,
I've been in Wisconsin. Anybody that's lived in Wisconsin has had the urge to kill somebody.
Fair enough. Yeah. Oh, you told me you had did you have like, was it a Gacy connection?
Yeah. So
What's
yeah,
the
my
movie?
grandmother was she was at his wedding because apparently her good friend was Gacy's mother-in-law. So she was at his house.
Yeah.
oh no,
Yeah. Fucked up.
Yeah.
what's cooking? Smells good.
Right.
Man, that smells good. Like smells like I haven't had that since I was at Pacific Beach, whatever that is.
Oh god, I'm gonna gag. I'm gonna gag.
Don't. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I find like Gacy's wife just like that's a fascinating person right there.
Yeah.
Like
red
how do you
flags thrown out there? And first of all, the guy dressed up as a clown. That's that red flag 1, 2, and 3. Honestly, right there. An adult
Clowny clown. Like,
the house smelled like dead bodies.
Yeah, that's
well.
Yeah, that's one of the ones where you're like, okay. I don't know. I mean, that sounds like a pretty cool wife, though. I mean, you can pretty much just do whatever the hell you want. She's like,
she's ride or die. Yeah.
I mean, because he was going in. He was going into the garage. He's like, I'm going in the garage now. No one, you are never to go in the garage. That's the man's place. You don't go in there. She's like, okay, I won't go in there. And he's in there. He's got a mattress hooked up. He's got red lights going. He's partying hard in there. Yeah. It was. And I guess one day she does go look, and she's like, "What is going on there?" And she takes a look, and then she goes, oh, "Okay, I'm not going to look into there anymore." But I guess at one point, Gacy and his wife decided that they weren't going to have sex anymore. They agreed, and he would check out like dudes in front of her. He'd be like, "Look at that one's tight butt," and she'd just be like, mm-hmm.
So basically, Michael Shannon and his wife from Boardwalk Empire, right?
Yeah.
A lot of weird, tensious energy between them. Weird. Yeah.
It's definitely fascinating people. But I do have other connections to serial killers, but I'm going to save them and leave that one because I also wanted to talk about something exclusively Star Wars. And also ridiculous. And
oh my god,
we will have a panel. Yeah, right. Star Wars is serious, but here we
ridiculous.
go.
Now, it's here. The excitement, the adventure of a new force at breakfast.
We'll call them C-3POs.
New C-3PO cereal from Kellogg's. Twin rings, phased together. For 2 crunches in every 00. A delicious part of this nutritious breakfast. Now you can experience the taste of Kellogg's C-3POs. A crunchy new force at breakfast.
May the force be with you.
Yep.
That kid should have won an Academy Award for pretending he liked that cereal.
God,
3PO named them because he gave birth to the cereal. That's what people don't understand. They're just 3PO eggs.
double O's. It's a figure 8 double O.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
he
saw
baked them.
that.
He baked them himself. He's like in the oven and he cooked them.
He has an
That's what
oven
that
in
little
front of
circle's
his-
for. It
Yeah.
pops open.
Exactly.
Yeah, they were made from 84 to 86. They came out
And
they're
they're still crunchy.
still crunchy. They came out for me they were they fell into a weird place. They
In your
had Star
stomach?
Wars. Yeah, they had Star Wars on the box.
Joke.
They looked enough like Cheerios where my mom thought that they weren't as bad as Frosted Flakes. They didn't have dietary information on the side of the box back then. I don't think. I think it was just like, oh, that looks like it's nutritious, or that looks like a bunch of sugar.
Did
And
you eat it?
so I ate that shit for 2 years. But probably about a year. It was just C3POs. And did they taste good? I don't know, because by the end of it, I didn't like them, but I still wanted the Star Wars mask on the back. Because for the most part, like they had Star Wars cards, they had an action figure offer at one point, but for the most part, they would have a mask on the back that would make you look like a serial killer if you wore it. And I wore it all the time. Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader.
Or Mouth sticking his tongue through a painting in the beginning of Goonies. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Mikey, give me a big kiss. You know,
We have
all
to-
right, 3PO.
Can we do one where we just wear the mask from the back of them just the whole time?
You know what was shocking to me as a kid was that there was no little mini, tiny little action figure, like a goofy little stupid one posable, or a proof of purchase. You can get a new action figure tie-in.
They
like,
did that.
They did, because I
Yeah.
just remember the mask. I don't remember there being anything you can do to
Yeah.
get something exclusive. Like,
There were figure not exclusives, but there were just like Return of the Jedi figures, if I remember right. You get like an Akbar and a Maydeen and a whatever.
oh
like,
yeah, but that's lame. I'm talking about like
Yeah,
like a Boba fetish thing, you know, like
Boba fetish?
Boba fetish.
Boba fetish.
First
so
time, 40 years,
Matt-
never thought of it.
Max, did you ever have them, or are those from before your time? Yeah. Okay.
Huh?
Did you
Are
ever
you
have?
just a trick?
Caesar?
No, I haven't.
No, I don't know. Were you
No.
eating cereal in 1984? I'm not sure what year you were born.
Yeah.
So
okay. Let's leave it
Max
there.
had a complete breakfast. Like I know, like us, we're stuck.
No,
with
I actually, I really didn't eat breakfast very much.
yeah. And then
No,
did-
but no, I never ate C3POs. I saw the commercial.
So would you ever eat them if like somebody today brought a box? Would you dig in? Would you try one? Would you try cereal from 1986?
If you paid me, I'm sure there's enough preservatives that kind of tasted, you know.
It-
a little
Max
like
is the
paper.
Winston of this cast. There's a steady paycheck, and I'll eat anything.
Yeah,
I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
I've ate shit
I
that'll
had-
turn you white.
I had this weird. There was a story that I read as a kid, and well, it was about this kid that. Oh God, it had something to do with cereal boxes and like giveaways or something like that. I can't remember. Maybe I'm making it up, but I had this obsession with cereals and the giveaways that they had on the back, and I was weird, and just dumping the cereal and just grabbing the toys.
That's what it was all about.
And I kind of still do that too. Like if they have Star Wars, oh, that's so sad that I'm admitting that. Ugh. Yeah, so like I won't do it anymore. I promise.
Admit it. Admit it.
The last and I actually ate it was the Mandalorian cereal,
Yeah, me too.
and I got stoned and I ate almost the whole box,
That's what it's for. That's why they make it.
and it tasted so
This is
good.
the way.
Otherwise,
Favreau was like, I taste every box, and sure.
Otherwise,
it
I
meets
would not have
Favreau
eaten.
standards.
It would have taken me a while to eat the whole box.
Yeah.
And it was really good.
Yeah, I bought it for my kids. They saw it at the store. They wanted. I'm like, yeah, of course I'm gonna buy the Star Wars cereal because you're asking for it. That's an excuse. I'll take it. My kids took a couple bites of it and said, "This is too sweet." They didn't want it. They're weirdos. They've been raised healthy, like little jerks, and they don't get it. And I fucked that box up. It was during the pandemic, especially. I'm like, I am not going anywhere. Let's be honest. If you were home during the pandemic and you weren't being drug tested and you weren't smoking the pot, what were you doing? And it was a good time. I felt like a little baby Yoda at the end of it. I was like, soup. But yeah,
they should make TOB1 cereal.
Yeah, I'd buy that.
That would be cute. I would too.
Yeah, or go healthy. You can make it alphabet soup.
No.
Yeah, you can do it though.
The official soup of Google.
Oh my god! Do you remember Fruity Pebbles?
Remember, I just had some like this morning.
Yeah, I have a story. So I don't like milk. I don't like milk at all. And my mother used so gross. No, I gag. Like I'll burp, gag burp. Like I'm gonna vomit. So my mom, I was eating Fruity Pebbles, and I added a little bit of milk just to so it wasn't completely dry. And my mom was very stickler on me making sure I drank my milk.
Nobody wants it dry, Matt. Nobody wants it dry.
I said no. She says, drink your milk. I said, no. And I looked at it, and it was pink and sweet, and I tasted it. I was like, ugh. And she chased me around the table because I wouldn't drink my milk. She threw it out, but I don't like milk. So
as a kid, I started. I was the kid who always threw up. If you said Jason dog shit, like I
remember kids like that.
That was me. Yeah, that was me.
Was it a nervous thing?
It was nerves and mucus and milk. It was all of those like things all together. And anyways, though, my mom decides I'm not going, and it had a lot to do with her smoking around me constantly, like a fucking savage. And anyways, that's just what they did, and it made me throw up. They just didn't realize that because it made them feel good. But anyways, she decides I'm going to change your milk to powdered milk, and I am eating my C-3POs, and she puts powdered milk, and I could taste it. It tastes like water. It was like water with C-3POs, and it was disgusting. And so I tell my mom, it's still making me feel sick, and she's like, "You're lying," and I was lying. I'm like, "No, I'm not." She's like, "Stop lying." I'm like, "I'm not lying," but I was lying. And she turns her head. I stick my fingers down my throat, and I throw up. C-3POs all over the table with powdered milk. And that asshole never tried to give me powdered milk again. I won. She lost. Stupid now, smoker.
That's how I feel about the High Republic.
Yeah,
me too. Whatever that means. Like,
I don't like it either. I'm with you.
It's in there. I need the audience to participate in that one. You'll get it. So like, I always felt cereal milk, like the leftover cereal milk, was a scheme that Kramer and Newman would have conjured up to sell. Like they actually really love it. I kid you not. I actually, because we were watching Seinfeld a year ago during the pandemic. And when they get to the muffin top episode, I remember, like they were talking about Jerry and the cereal, and someone tried to set up a cereal restaurant, right, where you can go and buy a bowl of cereal, but it's like anyone can get a bowl of cereal. Who the fuck cares? And I was like, but not everyone has access to the cereal milk. So we'll get the cereal, put it in the bowl, let it steep, and then give you the milk, right? And I fed out like there's an episode there's a spec script. I could write that one down, and I never.
I remember. I'm gonna gag. I had two Kramer moments. I can remember two Kramer moments just like that, where I was like, I'm eating Cocoa Pebbles, and at the end I have chocolate milk. This is great. I got free chocolate milk at the end.
Oh my god!
That CUC, but then it goes wrong because they start mixing cereals or like, just there. Like I'm telling you, there's an unmade Seinfeld script in that concept, but
Right.
whatever.
I did like when they made those little Tony the Tigers, and you could like it was like a pen almost, but you would put it in like a 2-liter of soda, and it would like it's like a Tony the Tiger submarine. Do you remember that? And it would float in the middle of the bottle.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Most of those toys
also Sex Panther would have made a great cereal tie-in to Anchorman.
Sex Panther cereal. Sex Panther cereal.
Real bits of Panther and every. You could have little chocolate bits, and you could say that's the Panther. Like there's like
tastes just like Bigfoot's dick.
Tastes like Paul Rudd.
Yeah, they should make that. I want that. But anyways, yeah. No, Star Wars cereal though has come a long way. The cereal that came out for The Force Awakens all the way to and then the Baby Yoda Mandalorian cereal is just a remake of the same cereal. That shit it's a little bit closer to the Ghostbusters cereal in a way, but not really.
The problem I have is the packaging on these new Star Wars cereals. It's so bad. It's not
Where
retro
are the
enough.
toys?
They need to hand draw them and get that same 80s Kellogg's look to all the designs and the fonts. And
anybody have Attack of the Clones cereal? That shit was good too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
It had a very shiny box. The box was the shiniest cereal
Gabe
box
jet
of all
the
time.
shit for 3 weeks, Jason.
Oh my god!
What? Gave him the wet shits. That's why. That's why he put a rain battle in Attack of the Clones. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I have all these cereals somewhere stashed away. I wonder if if I could still, if they're still edible, if they would survive a nuclear holocaust type of thing, you know.
I think so.
Can I break up a box of 3POs 40 years later and still chow down?
No, I was sent a box of the Campbell's soup, the whole Campbell's soup collection from Campbell's Soup, and the Star Wars cereal. But they sent two things of the Star Wars cereal, but both of the boxes had the variant box in it. So I don't know why I got two, but I got two. So we opened up the first one, like we ate it on the pod or something like that, and like I covered it on the site and stuff. And then I had this extra case of it. I just forgot about it. And while doing some cleaning over the pandemic, I found the 2015 box in there, and we were looking at it. Mandalorian cereal wasn't out yet, and the kids are like, "Let's eat it." I'm like, "Well, it expired in 2016."
Oh yeah.
But I'm like, you know what? Let's try it. Let's go for it. Why not? So I open it up. I make a bowl of it, and it was just like, it didn't want to break up. It was almost like Honey Smacks. You know, how Honey Smacks kind of like doesn't want to come apart.
Yeah,
I know what Honey Smacks milk tastes like.
Yeah, Honey Smacks milk. Oh, it's so good.
See. If I was gonna get those flavored cereals as a kid, I preferred the tiny little boxes with the variety pack. So, I never wanted to be tethered to one box of something. So,
yeah,
I like the variety pack.
He says, Mr. Moser says, I remember C-3PO cereal tasting like alphabets. I think you are completely correct about that. I think that was pretty much exactly what it was.
If you like stuff super bland, that was the cereal for you.
I remember it tasting like shame, I had a settlement and something had to pay the bills.
Do you remember when you got the cereal that didn't have any sugar? It was like the healthies, like Cheerios, and I would just I would dump a whole bunch of sugar on it.
Mm-hmm.
C-3PO's was not far off. It was not healthy.
It looks,
but it was also like it just tasted like after it was in the bowl for a minute, all the sugar would slip off of it, and it would just taste like a crying cat.
Well, they presented two ideas, George. Jason. They presented two ideas, and one of them was 3POs, and the other was Lars flavored Tang. And I just thought that was, after the Challenger, it was inappropriate to do space food. So
wouldn't it be cool if it like was on there and it had Baru on it, and it's all Baru's Tang? You can taste Baru's Tang. Who doesn't want to taste Baru's Tang? I know I do.
Wait, which one?
Both.
Before or after?
After.
What?
well. So okay. Check this out. I got the marketing done. They could do like one of those things like where, so when you buy the box, it's Attack of the Clones brew, right? But if you leave it in the sun and it fades through, there's another printed image under that layer, and it becomes the old brew. So you could get it sun faded.
Yeah.
And make
if you live in
Suntang.
Arizona, it becomes that in a week.
Suntang.
I meant Charo brew. Like
Aunt
I
brew
meant,
Suntang.
you know, like yeah, I mean
Charo.
What?
Charo?
Chardo.
Like chicky
Oh, I thought you meant chicken.
No, like she
like Charo. It's like, yeah, shake that thing, Charo.
Well, I was gonna say Burning Man, but that was just mean. You know, like what? Pit flavored.
I don't go to Burning Man because it's exclusionary to women.
I don't think I can eat my barbecue sandwich. No. I was eating when you texted me, Jason.
Yeah.
I was like,
Dahmer, you in? No.
no.
I should have brought my beef jerky up here and been like, chowing down. Yeah, huh?
God, I wonder if Dahmer liked that part from A New Hope when you see the charred remains of Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen. Was he like,
I'm
hungry?
What got him going?
He's like, man, I want him
seeing hot in the pit, getting ready to,
Yeah, he's like,
he's more Dahmer in the raw. You know, like he doesn't like a lot of heat on the food. No.
Yeah.
I have the context by identifying as an Ewok.
That's a good one.
I like it. I
like that.
Yeah. Well, I think we may have done it all, you guys. We got down.
We got 2 dislikes, so we're good to go. Like,
is that it?
Who are these people?
Look, it's the ones during the show I love. Like, it's like, then we did it. That's when you know you made the real humor. Like, you gotta alienate half your audience.
Michael's all Star Wars cereal. Never had that here in Australia.
Seriously?
What the fuck, Australia?
Serially?
Yeah, that is
the real disappointment was nerd cereal not being a box of nerds. Like, I was like, it's nerd cereal, but it's not the nerds. Like, it was like some Captain Crunch thing.
I wanted those, but my mom never got me the really sweet cereals.
Smart.
I don't know why.
That's why you didn't have dental bills when you're 4.
That explains me. Yeah,
hockey player when you're older.
God, I was telling somebody the other day. I was like about what I told you guys about. Like I was the kid who, if you just said dog shit, I would throw up. And but when I got my own dog, I had a hard time. I honestly would always trick my girlfriends into cleaning up my dog shit. Like, I had a hard time with that. But when I had my own kids, no problem. It's like your own shit. It's very strange how that goes. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not throwing up while I'm dealing with my own shit.
No, we're not parents. We don't know what you mean.
Yeah. No,
well, I'm a cat mom, so, and I still gag every time
Yeah, I had 2 cats.
Smell it?
Yeah, I had 2 cats, Rocket and Indy, and boy, did they make it hard in my life. As I would still get sick. But
look, they announced the Star Wars to wrap it all back up. They announced this now, or this is leaked and announced. It was leaked, quote unquote, now because it's not going to be a Disney Plus day on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
That's why this is all being done.
Right?
Right. But when it wasn't, then that's all anyone will talk about. So they got to get all this shit out the way before that day. So that's the real, only 100% story.
Or do you think there will be a 1-second line saying the future of Star Wars looks bright, and the next movie, you know what I mean? Like it's coming to Disney Plus and blah, blah, blah in theaters kind of thing. like, do you think they might do something like that?
No, I think Filoni's going to come out and go, look, we've delayed Rogue Squadron, but we're releasing Patty Jacks, the cereal. Like,
Patty Jacks, the cereal.
December 22.
It's got little fighter pilots. It's got little mushrooms. I don't know why.
It has an attractive box. I guarantee it. We're working with HasLab. You can go to HasLab and support the box now. Like, we only need $50,000 to get it going.
Oh yeah. That's gross. I read his post.
Look, if you've ever seen what happened to the Commodore and Boardwalk Empire, you know what lies in store for Star Wars Santa. So.
Oh no. the Commodore.
Yeah.
Santa.
Yeah.
Who's going to compare? Who would
What?
ever compare Star Wars Santa to the Commodore?
When I'm sick, I just leave on Boardwalk Empire. So you're gonna hear a bunch of Boardwalk Empire comments for the next fucking week. Like,
I want a cereal that is flavored after Steve Buscemi's eye crust.
bro, that is 3POs, you idiot. Did you not know that?
Oh, was that his first gig?
Yeah, that was his first.
The
You
oats.
seen his eyes? They just fit him in there and they plop out. Like
His eyes were completely like normal looking, and then he had to do this to get it going, and it kept getting it going until finally we had Steve Buscemi.
Nucky's choice.
Yeah, and instead of milk, add beer.
Little beers. All right, everybody. Thank you, Mags, for hanging out with us today. Always great to have you on.
Thank you,
James,
Max,
for hanging out with us. And
Thank
Rob, I guess,
Same.
thanks for coming. Whatever, man.
Thanks for getting in an argument with Jason about some theoretical shit that won't matter. We'll both forget about.
Yeah,
but we were dead certain we were right on something. I don't know what.
We're allowed to argue on this show because I don't remember what we talked about 20 minutes after the show's over. That's the amazing part of doing the show. I get a complete mind wipe. I don't remember. Only thing I remember is Rob was right about Rogue Squadron getting delayed. He saw it coming a mile away, and then he just totally shut on the record by being wrong about everything he said after. That's all I can remember now.
I win.
Bye, guys.
But I was right.
It's not about spaceships.
Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show.
It's not about spaceships.
I win the podcast. I won it.
Yeah. I like it when the shows are